Hey guys, Andy here. So today we're taking a look at Garmin's latest GPS watch, which is the Vivoactive 3. Now I've already done the unboxing and given some preliminary thoughts about my opinions, but here I'm going to be taking a more comprehensive look at it and comparing it with both the Garmin Fenix 5 and the Forerunner 935. So let's take a look. Okay. So first impressions are very positive. There's no doubt about it that the Vivoactive 3, it's a gorgeous looking watch. It's made from a fibre reinforced polymer plastic back, and it features a stainless steel bezel around the edges, much like the Fenix 5. It's actually a lot more lighter. It weighs in at 43 grams according to my tests, compared to 85 grams with the Fenix 5. I'll just briefly show you the weight using a scale. Okay, so we can see 43.2 grams for the Vivoactive 3. It's a bit more difficult to balance the, I'll try it this way. Fenix 5, okay, and 85 grams exactly. So you can see that the Vivoactive 3 is pretty much half the weight of Fenix 5. So if weight is a concern, definitely check out the Vivoactive 3. Okay, so back to first impressions. Well, it has a stainless steel bezel, and that does add to the premium feel for it. This is the gunmetal version, which actually looks, in my opinion, a lot nicer than stainless steel. Again, that's a subjective thought. We have a touchscreen, which is very interesting, along with swipe mechanisms on the side to navigate. I think that's where the positivity ends with this. I should mention that it does feature a 240 by 240 pixel screen, which is the same as the Fenix 5, and it's a 1.2 inch display. So although the form factor has been reduced significantly over the Fenix 5, it still retains the same screen size. Overall, I think it feels a little bit too hollow for me. I mean, it's very comfortable to put on your wrist, and it almost feels like nothing's there. But in my personal opinion, I think it's a little bit too light, perhaps. So comparing the Vivoactive 3 and Fenix 5 side by side, we can see that the size difference is quite apparent. There's only one single button on the Vivoactive 3 compared to the standard buttons that we have on the Fenix 5. I mean, these buttons on the Fenix 5 are exactly the same as the 935. The straps also, we can see, are a bit different. I'll come to that shortly later in this video. But overall, yes, the Vivoactive 3 does look very nice, but I think that the Fenix 5 is a lot more premium of a product. So the Vivoactive 3 uses Garmin's proprietary charging cable. So I'm a big fan of this actually. You just simply pop that in and you can charge the watch. This is different from the Fenix 3, which used a clasp, and a lot of people were not happy with this charging cable when it was first released, because they said that you can't use the watch as you charge it. I didn't quite understand that, or maybe I missed something, but I personally wouldn't be having the watch on my wrist when I was charging it anyway. But yeah, I mean, I really like this one. It's very quick and easy to put in, and it's good to know that if you own another watch, then you can simply use the same cable. So yeah, it goes into all of them. So in my previous video where I compared the Fenix 5 with the 935, I went through the user interface, which is again very similar to the Fenix 3. And I've actually grown very customized to this. So we have our watch face, clock, history and settings. We have our standard buttons, so we have our light button there, we have a lap button and an activity button at the top right to select one of the many various activities that the Fenix 5 can engage in. The Vivoactive 3 is a little different. So you need to do a press and hold on the touchscreen to get to the various options. You can then swipe up and down, or you can use the side sensor here, which I find to be a little bit overly sensitive personally. But you do have various options. So you have a watch face, which you can then change. You can create a new watch face, select a different one, or you can go to the Garmin Connect store through the app and download a watch face. We have clocks again, time, alarms, timer, stopwatch. So again, that's very handy when you want to engage in any sporting activities, perhaps on the track. And to go back, you can just swipe from the left side of the screen. So we have our history as well. Haven't recorded any activities with this as of yet. And again, you can have your totals. My stats, so you have your Vo2 Max, records and resting heart rate in there, along with various settings. So you can organize your widgets, your controls menu, the watch face. And again, as with all Garmin watches, the Vivoactive 3 doubles up as an activity tracker. So the Vivoactive 3 only has one physical button on the side. So a quick press will take you to your activity screen where you can select any of your favorited activities. So I have a run, bike and walk there. What I really like about the Vivoactive 3 over the Fenix 5 is the actual display that you get for the activities. So if I start an activity there, I can have my timer at the top, distance, pace, and my heart rate at the bottom. So if I go through the various screens, which I can customize, I can actually see the timer and the heart rates can be steady on every activity screen, which I really like. On the Fenix 5, if I start an activity, I can scroll through with the physical buttons. But if I want to get to my heart rate, that's going to be on a different screen. I mean, I can customize them, but what I really like about the Vivoactive 3 is that these two screens stay steady on the device. And that's I'm not finding that that's the case with the Fenix 5. So that was pretty interesting to see. Then we can stop our activity. And this is a touchscreen, so one of the fears that I had was that the activity may accidentally be discarded. But after you've done your activity, you can press done. You can either save it. If you accidentally did press the discard button, the UI comes up and then you can have an option to either discard it or not. So you need to do basically 2 presses before it will discard the activity. So another function of the single physical button on the Vivoactive 3 is that a press and hold will get you to this main menu. And from here you can select various options using the touchscreen, and this interface can be customized. So you can save your location, power on your phone, Bluetooth, do not disturb mode. We have the same interface on the Fenix 5 from pressing and holding the top left light button here. And you have many of the same functions. but obviously no touchscreen on the Fenix 5. One thing that the Vivoactive 3 has that the Fenix 5 does not is Garmin Pay. Now Garmin Pay is very interesting. It's very similar to Apple Pay, where you can just use your watch to pay for things and you don't need your mobile phone with you at that time as well. So if you went out for a run or a bike ride, you wanted to buy a coffee or probably some cake after your bike ride, you can just pay with the Vivoactive 3. What I should add is that this option can be used on the Fenix 5 if you went for a Barclaycard B-Pay loop and strapped up to the wrist. I'm not too keen on that myself, but it is an option. Very handy to have it built into the watch though. Unfortunately, Garmin Pay is not yet available here in the UK, so I can't set it up and my wallet is empty. So I can't comment on how well Garmin Pay works, but it is something to look forward to with the future. And I suspect that the next version of the Fenix watch, be that the Fenix 6 or whatever it's called, will probably have Garmin Pay built in as well. I'm a bit skeptical about whether there'll be a touchscreen in the next Fenix, but again, I'm just speculating here. So to change any of the settings from the main menu, you can go down to the controls menu here and simply add any number of options. So you can have music controls, which music controls is actually very handy because you can change the music on your phone with this. You can add Garmin Verb as well, so that's pretty interesting too. And you can also delete certain things as well. So okay, so you just tap and delete, and then you can add another option there. So as with the Fenix 5, there are quite a few activities that are available on the Vivoactive 3 pre-installed. So in activities and apps, you have run, bike, walk. Oops. Yep, so you have your run, your bike. As you can see, the touchscreen can be a little fiddly. Treadmill, indoor track, bike indoor, walk indoor, pool swimming, strength, cardio. So quite a few activities there, and you can also add activities further, so golf, skiing, snowboarding, cross-country skiing, even yoga. I'm not sure quite how that would work. You can also add even martial arts, which I'm not quite sure, to be honest, how that would work. Even yard work, wow. One thing I was actually very pleased to see on the Vivoactive 3 is that you can actually track your Vo2 Max, again, just like the 935 and the Fenix 5. So that's an immensely useful feature to have, and it also gives you predictions for your races as well. So as with the Fenix 5, the Vivoactive 3 also features GPS and GLONASS as standard, and it comes with a barometric altimeter, compass, an accelerometer and a thermometer as well. So for the price point at £300, I think that's quite a lot of technology you're getting packed into there. So the Vivoactive 3 features an auto lap button as you're running. So if you're doing track work, you can set it to an auto lap. But one thing it doesn't have is a manual lap, and I found this to be quite a hindrance. So with the Fenix 5, you can simply press the lap button and you can record your own splits. But you can't do that with the Vivoactive 3. And that's what puts me off this for serious track work, or if you're training for a specific event. So the Vivoactive 3 features Garmin's Elevate heart rate sensor. Now I find this to be quite reliable. a lot more so than other wrist-based watches which I've used in the past, which include the TomTom Sports. I find the Elevate heart rate sensor to be almost on par with my Garmin chest heart rate strap. It's exactly the same Elevate heart rate sensor found on both the Fenix 5 and the 935. However, one small difference is that the heart rate sensor protrudes out a little bit, probably a bit difficult to capture on video, but it protrudes out a little bit on the Fenix 5 and the 935, whereas it's more in line on the Vivoactive 3 here. Comfort-wise, I don't think you're really going to see much of a difference with that small slight raise on these two watches, but it's just something worth pointing out. Let's talk about the watch straps. Now, the straps on the Vivoactive 3, as you can see, are a lot slimmer. I believe that the Fenix 5 are 22 millimeters and these are 20 on the Vivoactive 3. They both feature a form of quick release. So that's how you remove the watches from the Fenix 5 and they just snap back on. On the Vivoactive 3, there are these clips here, which are removed like that, and they can then be put back in. I find the Vivoactive 3 system to be a little bit more tricky than the Fenix 5. I mean, by no means is it difficult, but I just actually do prefer the Fenix 5, which just snap straight back on. In all honesty, I think that the Apple Watch quick release straps are probably easy as well to put on, and probably the most comfortable, but that's not for this video. But yeah, definitely I think that the quick release straps are a convenience on the Vivoactive 3, and it allows you to change the straps very quickly. One of the problems I had with the Fenix 3 was that to remove the straps I had to use a toolkit, and that prevented me from using many straps on there, and I would just keep one strap on there when I really wanted to use the stainless steel link bracelet that I had with the Fenix 3, but I couldn't because it was just such a hassle to change the straps over. So it's good to see that a lot of watches are coming out with these quick changeable straps. So, who exactly is this watch for? That's probably the million-dollar question. After having the watch in my hand, I honestly feel that the Vivoactive 3 is designed probably more for the recreational athlete. It has got a lot of technology packed in here, but then again it is lacking in some aspects as well. So yeah, it may be more suitable for people who have a lighter weight or a smaller profile, or just prefer to have a lighter watch. I mean, my wrist is pretty small and I found this to be quite comfortable. It does seem that Garmin are marketing this more to female athletes, and that does seem to be the target audience from their promotional videos anyway. I actually kind of disagree with that, and I think that this would actually look very nice on a gentleman's wrist as well, because it does have that nice gunmetal finish, and there is that stainless steel version as well if you wanted that. There are also a number of changeable wrist straps from Garmin, so if you didn't like the strap that comes with it, which in all honesty does feel a little cheap, you can always upgrade to any number of them. That being said, the watch is, like I mentioned, very lacking in some of the more advanced metrics, and that might put data junkies off. But on first impressions, you might be tempted to opt for the Vivoactive 3 for the novel features like the touchscreen, Garmin Pay, and the fact that it does actually look like a nice watch, even though it feels a little bit hollow. But you'll probably quickly realise that underneath the glossy exterior there are quite a few frustrations. And kind of that's a bit of a deal breaker for me, but this is actually going to be used by my partner, so That's not something I have to worry about. I actually much do prefer the Fenix 5, and well, she prefers the lighter profile of the Vivoactive 3. So it's going to be all subjective depending on which watch you want to wear. As my daily running watch, the 935 is a sure winner for me, and I prefer to wear the Fenix 5 if I'm ever going to be wearing a suit, and it pairs up nicely with the stainless steel link bracelet. And in my personal opinion, I think that the Fenix 5 is the best looking watch. Not necessarily the most comfortable out of all these, but definitely the best looking one. So thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please click that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.